In this video, I'll be talking about CSS3 gradients. Okay, so let me create this HTML support structure. Then inside my body, I'll use div. I'll use div. Let me say div elements. Okay, then I'll be making use of external CSS. I will link the external CSS link. If you don't know how to link external CSS, go and watch my video on. Go and watch my CSS and SAT video. You will see the process there, how to do that. Having linked this CSS, okay, let me reduce the screen so I can have enough space in my style sheet, CSS style sheet. So we'll be using element selector since we use only one element, uh, which is our div. Okay, so we'll call the div element. So the div, open a decoration block. Let's give it a width. Let's first of all give it a width and the height, so it will be visible. Let's say, let me give it something like, let's say 350. I want it to be very bold. Let me say 450 by 450 by 450. I think it will make more sense. So it will be very bold in the screen. Then let me give the height, let's say 450 pixels. Okay. Then to do this CSS3 gradient, all you have to do is just use the keyword linear, linear dash e hyphen gradient. Okay, it's up to be. Why is it not? Oh, supposed to, let me remove this comma here. Linear gradients, gradients. Why is it not responding? Where is the issue coming from now? Where is it coming from now? Oh, I think I remember something now. It's supposed to be inside image background. Where is it? Image. Let me say, or could I just use a background image, not image background. Let me say background image. Okay, here is it. So inside this background image, let me give it to accept to background image is the property, then the value will be linear gradients. Linear gradients. Okay, here is it. Okay, so inside the linear gradient, it will accept a parameter which is it will accept as many parameters as you want. But for this one, let's add color parameter first. Let's give it green and green. Let me give it green, comma, green and blue. Let me see what it will look like. I'm supposed to see this output here. Okay? You can see the output. This is the output. Okay, let me also give this div a kind of a border, and then let me reduce it to 400 so it will not go to that extreme. 400 by 400, and then I'll add it. I'll give it a border. I'll give it a border under this place. Let me give it a border of let me use solid in this border. Border, inside the border I will say let me use 2em 2em solid, or will I use instant? Let me use solid. No need of wasting time. Okay, I think the solid is too bold, the border is too bold. Let me reduce it to, how about 1em? It makes sense. How about, let me make it 0.6 em, 0.6 em. So the border will, yeah, I think the border makes sense now. Okay, and the border makes a little bit sense. Okay, okay, so it's now okay. Let me widen this one, see. Yeah, I think it makes sense now. This screen makes sense. Okay. Okay, then let's also add another color. If I add other colors, let me say something like red now. Red. You can see it keep on mixing the color. What about yellow? Let me say something like yellow. Yellow. You can see the color, you can see the yellow, and it displays the colors sequentially the way you add it. Okay, like if you add anything you add at first, we first appear at the top of the gradient color. Okay, so if I remove this green now and replace it with let me say, if I remove this green now and replace it with a color called let me replace it with something like chocolate color. Chocolates, chocolates. I think that's the spelling. Chocolate color. You can see the color now. The chocolate appears before every other one. So that is how to that is one of the things to note in this gradient. The way you state, the way you position it determines how it will appear in the screen. Okay. So I want to having said this, I want to add another linear another gradient value. Okay, let me also add this, let me add this value. Let me call it let's say this one is a linear, it's supposed to be n linear, give your space and hyphen, sorry, linear gradient, linear what's it called again, linear gradients, gradients, this is the spelling of gradients, ent, I think I'm right. Okay, so inside this our value now, it will accept let's come inside this our value. Before I write any of the let me close this HTML. Since you are done with HTML, so I will have enough space here in this my CSS. Let me remove this CSS. It's still running but it's in the background. Okay, so inside this my CSS now, before I write any of the color, let me give it a value, another value in the parameter. Let me give this value a parameter of, let me say something like to light, to right. Let me use to right. Think that this is the way. Or should I put a hyphen? No, I'm supposed to put a comma after the to right. What is the issue? What if I reduce? What is happening? I think I messed up something. This is just, there's not supposed to be space here, and then this place now leave space. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. I give white space between the what is it called, the parameter, which is the these two brackets, this open bracket. I give space between the value and the bracket. That's why it's doing, is not going. You can see that. So there's not supposed to be white space there. Okay, this is for the right gradient, so it will make the gradients to be positioned this way instead of horizontally, to make it to position this way. Okay, I think let me remove this one. I can add another one. Let me say something like I can use another type of what's it called, uh, parameter value, the parameter I will give to the linear gradient value. Let me say something like to bottom. To bottom, this is spelling for bottom. I think this, there should be one O here. To bottom, okay. To bottom right. Let me say something like to bottom right. Okay, you can see how it's positioned this kind of in diagonal form. It's positioned it in diagonal form. How about to the top, to the bottom right, left? Sorry, let me say left, to position the other way around. Okay, you can see it's positioning the other way around. Okay, that is it for this particular value. Okay, so the next time I want to use another what is it called? Let me use another value. Let me say something like, and there's another one called degree. You can use degree. First of all, put in your DEG, which is degree, stands for degree. Then let me say something like 45 degree and see what will happen. You can see the positioning. What if I do something like a 90 degree? You can see this is 90 degree. Okay, how about 180 degree? You can see the positioning. How about 130 degree? How about 135? Okay, how about 360 degree? I think it might return it to the void. Let's try. 360 degree. Okay, 360 degree will just turn it upside down, return it, and it's kind of, it will return it back to it will just turn it and return it back, I think so. Or it will just turn this, return it, take the top one and return it back. So you have turned right around. How about 17 degree? You can see that. How about 4 degree? just right slight changes. Okay, that is it for degree. Okay, then the next I want to do I want to use another thing here now. I want to use RGBA. We have already talked about this CSS3. CSS3 is an advanced CSS. Okay, so we want to use CSS3, CSS3 color in this what's it called, in this our gradient. Okay, let me clean these colors that we have here, and also clean the degree, and then give this linear gradient value a parameter of um, RGBA, which is the RGBA just stands for R for RGBA, which is red, green, blue. Then the A there represents alpha. A is what makes it a CSS3. Okay, so let's use the what is it called, the RGBA color. So to do that, just say RGBA, then you open your parameter. Then the RGBA parameter accepts 4 parameters, since it's 3 words here, 4 words, so it accepts 4 parameters. Okay, and in the RGB you can just go and watch the video, go and watch my video on CSS3 colors. You understand what we are doing. Okay, let me give it a value of, let me say 0, comma. Let me give should I use, which one should I use now? Let me make use of blue. Let me also comma. Then let me give RGB. Let me give blue high value. Let me say 225. Okay, then comma, and then I want it to have the tick color at the top. Then at the bottom it will disappear. It will disappear by the bottom. So let me give it 0. From the top it will have. Let me give the top 1.0. Okay, 1.0. Okay, it's supposed to appear by now. What is happening to you? Am I missing anything? Check. Am I missing anything here now? Am I missing anything? Am I missing anything? I'm not sure. Let me just add the second one. See where the problem is coming. Let me just add the second one. Let me just copy this now and just paste it, and then change some value inside. Control C, copy. Then at the back of here, I will just paste it. Control V. Then I will not change. It's not that you are responding. Okay, let me just change this value. I will change this alpha value to 0. Can see the effect. Change it to 0.2. How about 0.8? 0.7. It's almost full. So let me leave it at 0.0, which is nothing. 0.0 is nothing. Can see that. So this is how to add the RGBA. So this thing is a sort of kind of an effect we use in creating what is it called? It's not creating. This is a kind of this RGB mainly used. Not I mainly talked about it well in CSS3 colors. So go and watch that video. You will really understand what we actually did here. Okay. So the next one I was talking about is let me just first of all remove this our RGB parameter. Let me remove RGBA. Sorry, let me remove all of them. Then let me add our normal simple color that everybody know. Let me say something like green. Green. Let me give it yellow. Let me say yellow. Okay, and then let me also give it let me say something like let me use aqua color, so it will look like sky blue. Aqua look like sky blue. Okay, so what I want to do now, I want to illustrate is that you can add percentage of the color. How you can add percentage to this, and the percentage will increase the intensity of each one. Okay, let me add something like let me use, let me just make it this one. Let me say this one 10%. Okay, this percentage 10%. Okay, let me give yellow. How many percent? How many percent will I give yellow? Let me just give yellow. Let me give them 10% percentage, then 10%. Okay, you can see the effect. Okay, then let me give aqua. Let me give aqua. Let me give aqua, let me say something like let me say 80%. Okay, it's too much, but let me just give it to it. You can see the difference. What is happening? It's like it's taking much of the space. 10%. It's taking much of the space. Uh, let me reduce this. Let me give this one. You see that this the 80% take most of the spaces. You can see it takes most of the gradient space. What if I give this one something like, let me switch yellow here. Let me give this one yellow and see. Oh, not this. Let me give this one. Let me say something like let me leave yellow here. Yellow here. Then at the back of the yellow, then I will now give this percentage. Okay. Let me also, the intensity of this one is much, but let me also give this thing, let me say something like having the comma inside the comma. I will now give it let me say something like I will not have red, let me say red. Red will be very visible. Red, let me give it how many percent now? Let me say something like 50%. How will it look like? Something is wrong. What is the problem? What is the issue now? Oh, I put percent before 50. So I'm supposed to put it I'm supposed to put percent after 50. Okay. You can see the effect now. So you can see the whole of the intensity is not the same thing. They are different. And mind you, whenever two of them comes together, they will just, the mixture of the two color will just form a slight color that looks somehow. You can see in between here now, having a color that you don't even know the name to call. There's a color here now that, as you are seeing it, there's a color that is not neither this nor this, and between this yellow and this red, you can see orange color here, something like orange color, something like, so it's a mix. It will just mix the color at the edge where the two of them mix. They'll give you a different color. So having said, let's move to the next one. Okay, there's no one thing you can do with this now. I can repeat these gradients. I can kind of, within this div, I will repeat all of them. So what I will now do, I will just inside this, after this repeat gradient, before, let's do it this place. Before linear, say repeat, repeat, just put your hyphen here so the emit can help us. Repeat, repeating, I think that's the spelling, repeating linear gradient. Okay, then you will now give it the degree at which it will repeat it. Okay, I'll give it let me space out and then put comma here and then write it in front, put comma here, then write in the front. Let me give it a degree of, let's say 90 degree, deg for degree, 19 degree. You can see how it splits them. Okay, now what I want to do, because this percentage is interfering, this percentage that we added is interfering, so I will remove these percentages. Let me remove them. Even this 50%, let me also remove this 50%. Okay, then remove also this 10%. Okay, yes, I think it's done. Now let me put comma. It's supposed to be, oh no, just one single comma is okay. Okay, so 90, how about, why is it not repeating? Did I do any mistake here? Why is it not repeating? Let me put 45 degree and see how about 45 degree? No, this is not what I want. Where am I having issue now? There's a problem from somewhere. Repeating linear gradient. Where am I having this error? Because I want to really do this thing well. Where is this issue coming from now? The problem, where is it coming from now? What I want to do actually, I just want this color now to be matched, to just be matched together, and there will be a line in between them to be duplicated within, let's say, up to maybe as much as the screen can contain. Maybe let's say up to maybe I'll say up to 4 or 5. within, or let's say three places, this sign line. Let me add percentage and see whether this will solve it. Let me try and add percentage and see what will happen. Let me just give it, let me say 10%. Let me say 10%, see what will happen. And seeing this now is okay. How about, let me leave this first one. Let me put it in the this one is going to the edge. Let me try it in this red. Let me say something like 10%. Let me give space from the color so it will not say 10%. Let me say 10%. I'm not really seeing much. How about, let me put some values here. Let me say something like let me say 20%. Say 20%. Oh, Jesus, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm looking for. So I want it. This is the kind of is repeating the what is it called, the lines. Okay, since I've gotten what I want, let me increase this one. Let me call this one 17 and see what difference it gives. Okay, how about 2020? If I do it 20%, 20%, 20%. Okay. Let me see whether if I give this yellow anything to win, whether it will interfere. Let me also give this one 20% and see what the changes will be. Let me say 20%. Let me see. No, no, no. It's just remove. So I do not need to put any percentage in the first color. Okay. Lesson length. Okay. Nice. So let me reduce this one to, let me say 5% and see what it looks like. How about 3%? Okay, let me make it half of the other one. Let me say 10%. So the other one will be 20. If I make here now 10%, what will it look like now? It will be even more smaller. Okay, just the mixture of the gradient of the three colors. Give me, I think this one will be good for our illustration, for us to illustrate what we want to illustrate. Okay, so if I widen my screen now, it will just fill up just the same line, but it repeats itself. You can see in layers. You can see that. Okay, then let me kind of change another thing. Let me alter the degree. It's in 45 degree. Let me make it something like let me say 90 degree. I think it will stand up. It will be vertical. Yes, it will now be vertical. Okay, then now what if I do it 180 degree? It will be in horizontal form. What if 270 degrees? Okay, it will rotate it the other way around. Okay, if we do 360 to return it back to the other way around. Okay, okay, this 360 degree. How about 1 degree? 1 degree is just a slight shift. How about 2? How about one? What is this degree again? Let's say there's 1 degree that I'm looking for. How about 135 degree? Okay, it's also this way, the other way around. Okay, okay, so this is for repeating linear gradients. Okay, so the next thing I'll be doing, I think have covered a little bit stuff in this linear gradient and also repeating linear gradient. So this I want to do, I want to do the one called radial gradients. Radial, say radial, is it radial? Let me put hyphen. So M8 will help us. Think radial. Radial, that should be that is the spelling. Hopefully this is the spelling. Radial gradient. Okay, then I will remove these degrees of no use for this radial gradient. Okay, you can see the effect. This is for radial gradient. Just make this thing looks a bit like circle. Okay, but let me remove the percentage so you see how it looks like. You see something like sun or kind of galaxy stuff. Let me remove this. You can see how it looks like, kind of all this galaxy stuff and all that. What if I do it 40%? What will happen here? It will look like kind of sun, looking at sun. This one looks like sun. So if I change this yellow now to something like let me say green, it will, you see how it display. It looks like one kind star in the galaxy, something like that. Okay, How about this lead? If I change this lead to something like maybe say um let me which color? Let me say something like purple. Say purple. You can see the effect. Okay, this is for Ladia gradient. Okay, so should I think if I add that, if I still add another color, it will keep on adding more of the gradient. Let me say something like I have not used red. Let me also add red here. It will also add effect to it. Yes, it will keep on adding the effect. How about let me add another color, something like yellow. Let me add that yellow again. Uh, Yellow. What happens? You can see it keep on adding the gradient color. Let me widen it. You can see it keep on adding it by the. You can see it by the side. So this is a radiant color. It's kind of is in circle form or something like that. Okay. So there's another value you can add inside the uh, Radiant parameter. You can add something like, let me say, something like Eclipse. Or let me first of all do circle. Okay, we're already using circle, but let me reduce the color so it will be a little bit reduced. So it will not be much. Let me leave it at red color. Uh, let me leave it at red color. I think this red color makes a little bit sense. Okay, so let me like inside this parameter, let me use first of all remember to put comma, then you now write it in front of the comma. Then let me say something like eclipse, or let me start with circle. Circle SRC let me say circle at circle at let me say circle at the left. Let me see what that gives me. You can see that it's moved to the left. This thing moved to the left. Okay, it looks like a half sun. But let me put something so it will look like a sun, half sun. Let me put yellow here. I think will yellow give me that. Let me say yellow. Will yellow give me that sun like okay. Then sun emits a the sun always emits something that looks like what is it called, like red. Let me put a red color here. It emits something like a red. Yes, something like this is what I'm looking for. Then should I add anything here? Let me leave it this way. So it will look like a rising sun, a half sun, radiating its energy and heat and whatever. Okay, so let me add it to the light, to the right. Okay, so right. Let's see what that gives us. You can see it brings this to this side. You can see that. Okay, but let me see whether top will work. I'm not sure, but let me try. Okay, top also works, so which means bottom will work. Since top or bottom will also work. Bottom will also work. You can see that. So that is how to add this for circle. Circle at bottom value. Okay, how about using? Let's use another one called eclipse. Okay, not eclipse, ellipse. Ellipse as well. So ellipse, ellipse. Okay, this is the ellipse pattern. So let me just add it. Let me say at. This is always use at. Let me use at left and see what it gives me. At left, see what it gives me. You can see the effect of this ellipse. Here's the effect. Let me use a color that will be standard. Let me forget about this one and restore back my purple color. Okay, you can see the effect. This is like this is a purple ellipse effect. How about doing it adding right here? Say right. What am I typing? God have mercy. Okay, so we can see this is a right. Okay, you can see the effect from the right side. Okay, so which means if you add top and bottom, it will still work. Let's say top to still drop from the top. Then if you add button here, say button, if you add button, it will still come off from bottom. Okay, okay. So the next I want to do, and after this I will wrap up the video, is I want to use repeating. We use repeating in the first one, which is our linear gradients. We use repeat in our linear gradient. So let's use this repeating in this our linear gradient. Let's put our hyphen. At the back of the hyphen, we now type our repeating. Repeating spelling is it's supposed to be one single p, not double p. repeating. Okay, I think I'm right in the spelling. Okay, repeating. Yeah, I'm writing this. So we have repeating radial gradient. So having put this, let me see whether, let me refresh this and see. It's supposed to repeat this color in such a way that it will, am I supposed to add anything in there? Supposed to add percentages in the values, because what we encounter in our repeating linear gradient is that we do not add values, which is percentage values, to our color. Let's add it and see whether there will be any changes here. Okay, let's just add something like, let me say 30%, and let me say that let me say 30%. Oh yes, this is what I want. So we add our values. So let me also add some value in this purple and see what the effect will look like. Let me also make it 30% and see what it will look like. Let me say 30% here. 30%. Okay, you can see the effect. It looks somehow. It looks like a wave, like emitting wave, or propagated wave, either one. Let me this thing seems to be too uh is there any way I can make this thing now to look like circle, full circle, kind of? I will make it in such a way that the center one will be like, it will be in the center, then this one will be, it will be this other one will be moving out of it like a wave. Let me try and give this one, let me say something like, let me try 35 and see how it will look like. 35. Okay, I think this circle is coming up. Let me put 35 and see what the effect will look like. How about 35 here? Not much effect. Let me make it 40 and see what it looks like. Say 40, 40. Let me put 40 here and see what it also look like. Let me say 40. How can I do this now? Because this thing is not really giving me. Let's try and put some value in the first one, because we put value in our first in our first column, and the thing that it just dominates the whole screen. So let's just add percentage and see whether it will just um, give us what we want to do. Let's say let's put half of this percentage of these two colors. Let's say 20%. Let me say 20%. What will happen now? Wow, there's a little bit changes here. A little bit changes. Okay, let me widen the screen and see. Uh, just a little slight changes. The changes does not really give me what I want. Still okay, we can still manage that. But what if I do it this way? What if um, what am I going to alter now? What will I alter now? What will I alter now so I can really get this in the way I want it now? I think I've gotten there's something I want to do. I want to see. Let me change this value to, let me say something like green and see green. There's not much effect. Let me change this thing to just basic colors. Let me change this purple to, let me say something like, I don't really like this color. Let me change it to, let me put the center one. Let me put this one golden golden rod golden rod color. This one seems to be even worse. Okay, let me just change this color here. Let me make this one red. Let me see the effects. Okay, it looks something like this. I think this one is a bit manageable. It looks like a flower. Okay, it looks like a flower a little bit. Okay, so I want this thing. Why is this thing not? I want this thing. Why can't this thing come to the center? It's very possible. How can I do it now? Oh, oh God. We we still leave our eclipse ellipse here. That's why, could have said, why is this thing having this kind of effect? We left our ellipse at something there, so let's remove this ellipse and see the effect. Perfect. So I can now restore back. Let me restore back my colors. Let me restore this one. Let me give this one. Let me give this one. Let me give it back my color. Let me give it purple. Purple. Then yeah, this is the color that I added before. Then this lead one. Let me replace it with that yellow that I added before. Uh, Yellow. Yes, I think it makes sense. It's making sense now. Then this green. Let me replace this green. I've even forgotten the color I added here. Let me just add it. Let me say blue and see what it will look like. This piece. Okay, so it will look like a sort of emit something that is emitting stuff. But let me reduce the percentage. Okay, I forget to add percentage. Let me say 20% here. 20 percentage here. Yes, look at, see the way it looks now. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, let me just widen the screen. Let me make the screen height 800 pixels so it can drop down, so it can have effect here. Okay, you can see that. So this is where we'll be wrapping up our CSS3 gradients. So always know that CSS3 is an advanced CSS. With the difference between CSS3 and other CSS like CSS2 and normal CSS is that it have some additional properties and values added to it and some functionalities. That's the only difference. Okay. Having said that, we'll call it a day in this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.